4's Company, 102.5, 106.3. The Game, brought to you by LPL Financial Nashville and Patrick Conger. LPL Financial Nashville is your partner for whatever your future holds. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Good morning, gentlemen.
If you're not awake, you are now.
Yeah, you are now. Hopefully no one swerved off the roads around Nashville right
To
now.
the morning. 8-car pileup on I-40. We apologize.
I need to switch out these headphones. I'm only hearing out of one ear.
Sounds about right.
Anyway,
in the studio.
Off to a great start this morning. Preds draft last night. Preds made 3 picks in the first round, taking Brady Martin at 5, Cameron Reed at 21, Riker Lee at 26. We will get to that coming up in our next segment. We'll also talk some Nashville Cats as they play in the Arena Crown Championship coming up right after us at 11:30. Chase McCabe, Big Joe Dubin on the call. The Suit will join us at 10:45 to preview that game. And we'll also do a revamped edition number 2 of Where Are They Now after last week's thrilling debut.
That's going to be hard to beat, by the way.
It's going to be tough.
That is tough.
Yes.
It's better. I've made it better.
Connor Newt is our host
with
this week.
Revamped rules.
Yes.
Sort of.
We have redone the game. It was good last week. We're going to try and make it better.
It's going to be great this week.
That's coming up at 11 o'clock. But first, let's get into our headlines. Nick Frazier, why don't you lead us off? And I will give you warning. You have the question of the day today. So,
I'm ready for it.
Oh, you're ready for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely. I watched probably the coolest thing in NRL this morning in the Dolphins. They call him Hammer, the Hammer Time. His name is pronounced like Hamzawai Twal Fido. He's one of the wingers and fullbacks. He ended up.
Everyone knows him.
Yeah, he ended up scoring 4 tries this morning, which is pretty
Rolls
crazy.
Right off the tongue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they call him Hammer Time. So he scored 4 tries. I think he had like 457 meters. Like he ran 457 meters. So equivalent to yards, that's somewhere around 300, 390, maybe 400 yards. I don't know, something like that. But it was just an impressive thing to watch this morning. It really was. They won 50-28, which was pretty cool to watch there. What else is on the headlines that really sticks out? Not a whole lot, because we're in the dog days of summer. Oh,
right.
The professional darts. It's in New York.
Oh, wow.
The U.S. darts is in New York.
In Albany?
Not
Ask
Albany.
Chase if he's been up there.
Wow, what a weekend that would be.
I know,
if
right?
darts and the AF1 championship were in Albany at the same time.
That'd be crazy. They're playing at
That's a white
where the
claws up
Brooklyn Nets play, wherever that is.
Barclays Center.
That's
The
where
Barclays
the
Center, yeah.
NBA draft was this week, too.
Oh, well, they're hosting the U.S. Masters, I think is what it's called.
Oh.
U.S. Open darts, something like that.
The
So,
U.S. Open Masters. Sounds about right.
something. I don't know. It's just fun to watch. It just they take place tonight at 6:15. I think
Okay.
first throw is 6:15.
Everybody set your watches.
Yeah.
Make sure you're ready. Speaking of the NBA draft, my headline, I know what we talked about this a little bit with Robbie on Thursday, but I am begging the NBA to just let the prospects wear the hat of the team that is actually getting them. It is the worst possible way to do that draft.
I was considering ranting about that today, but then I figured you'd probably talk about it
It
before.
makes no sense. And I don't understand how year after year the NBA just keeps on doing this. I understand that these trades are not finalized yet, and there are physicals that have to be done for some of these if they involve a player like the Kevin Durant trade. But having these prospects in what is supposed to be the culmination of all their hard work and one of the best moments of their lives, to have them walk up and have to put on a hat of the team that they know they are not playing for already is just so stupid. I'm begging the commissioner, Adam Silver, fix this, because the NFL draft has figured
Do you know
it out.
how Adam Silver works? He tends to make things a little bit worse.
But like the NFL's figured the MLB doesn't do trades except for the compensatory pick, so they don't have to worry about it. But the NFL and the NHL have figured this out. The NHL's new league year hasn't started yet, I don't believe.
July 1st.
Yeah, because free agency doesn't start till July 1st. So they figured it out. The Preds made a trade last night up from 23 to 21. And guess what? They announced it as the Predators pick. The NBA can do this too. I'm begging you next year, just let the players wear the hats of the teams they are actually playing for. The Suns made 3 picks this week, and not a single one wore a Suns hat when they walked up. It is so stupid.
That's bad.
Oh,
I
It's
just-
horrible.
Brea.
Oh,
Poor Kobe Brea.
yeah.
Doesn't get to wear his son's
Yeah,
hat. Had to
Kobe
wear a
Brea,
Golden State Warriors hat.
Kaman Malawach, and I'm blanking. Rashir, he was from St. Joe's. The Suns traded up to get him.
Good question.
Anyway, that's my rant for the morning. Is the NBA? This needs to be the last year of not announcing trades as they happen, because it's funny. They'll go back like 5 picks later, and they'll come up and say a trade has been made, and Kobe Brea's rights have been traded to the Phoenix Suns. It's like, all right, well, you did it 20 minutes later. Why couldn't we have done this as he walked up?
Well, it's been going on for a long time too. Like, you can look at some of these old draft picks, like Donovan Mitchell, for example. He was drafted by the Denver Nuggets, but his rights were traded. He's up there with a Nuggets hat and knowing damn well he's going to play for the Utah Jazz.
Right. Kobe Bryant walked up there in a Charlotte Hornets hat, and everyone knew he was going to the Lakers. This has been going on for 30 years plus. Fix it.
It's sad.
That's all I have to say. Connor Newt, what's your headline?
My headline was actually just right behind you for a little bit.
Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray, complete game shutout, 9 full innings, 11 strikeouts, only 1 hit. Unbelievable.
89 pitches.
Only 89 pitches. So I didn't get to watch the game, unfortunately, but by that math, I would assume he's just getting up, 1-2 pitch outings.
I think it was like every 2 to 3 batters, it was like a ground ball or something like that, which is impressive. I mean, Sonny Gray has been everything the Cardinals need this year. And again, the Cardinals are getting production out of veteran pitchers that you wouldn't think they'd get production out of. I mean, I'm disregard Sonny Gray, but like Eric Feta, Miles Michaelis, so forth. It's great. It's a great watch.
Michael
really
McGreevy.
Yeah.
He might still be in Memphis, actually.
I've called him up once or twice.
Yeah. The most important part of this, Sonny Gray, 47 fantasy points.
Wow.
And has gotten me a 50-point lead.
I was
down.
I was going to say the most important part of it was that he beat the Cleveland Guardians, so I appreciate his service. But yes, Sonny Gray with a second Maddox of the year by a pitcher. I believe Scooble's the only other one who's done the sub 100 pitch complete game shutout.
Yeah, because last night Nick Martinez with the Reds had over 110.
Yeah, he had a no-hitter into the 9th. And funny enough, I believe both Maddoxes came against the Cleveland Guardians. I think Scooble's was against Cleveland too. So that shows you how good the Guardians lineup is this year. As they continue to somehow sit around 500 despite having maybe the worst lineup in baseball.
I mean, last year, did we all not think that was a fluke season?
Yeah.
Like, they were top of the AL, but I never once thought, the Cleveland Guardians have a chance to win it all this year.
No.
It just seemed like a fluke.
Yes, and they are right around 500 right now, 9.5 games back of the Detroit Tigers. Jake Wallman, what is your headline this morning?
For the second straight week, I'm going with baseball. Everybody knows the massacre that took place in Atlanta last night, and I think it's.
I don't. I think you should remind everyone.
Yeah. What was the score?
That score was 13-0
Against who?
The Philadelphia Phillies. 13 runs on 17 hits. Not a good night for the Braves, and I think it's time that we start thinking about selling at the deadline.
I'd appreciate that. I would take some of those Braves players.
Yeah. Cardinals may have to buy.
If
some,
Austin
too.
Riley would like to come play in Detroit.
Well, no, Riley's protected.
No,
I mean,
I'm
you got to
kidding.
protect Riley, Acuna.
Hi, Matt
Strider.
Olson. Come play for us.
Yeah, I mean, hey, take him. I don't care.
Ronald
I'm
Acuna
selling on
Jr.,
this
come on
season.
down.
I'm selling on this season. Screw it.
Spencer Strider, would you like to be a Detroit Tiger?
Yeah, I'd be in for that.
Can you imagine that pitching rotation?
Yeah, go
Scooble, Strider. You'd probably give up Flaherty.
I'd love to give up Flaherty.
Would you also like Bryce Elder, the losing pitcher in last night's contest? Because we could sell him right now.
I'll pass on that, but don't worry. It's almost Vols basketball season again.
We got like 4 months.
4 more months. Yeah.
I mean, let's not look that far.
You're
into the
skipping
future.
football season now.
No,
Yeah,
he's right. No, he's right.
He's right.
I
You're
think
in the same boat as me. Football is just the sport
Yeah,
before basketball.
skipping
now.
football season might be a good idea this year.
Did you hear Jake, by the way? He said he'd rather just get rid of Flaherty. He's getting the Flaherty.
Yeah.
You know, he's
No,
trying to
we
get-
were there.
Flaherty
Oh, we know.
actually had a decent outing this week. They still lost because the Tigers got shut out. But
Oh, we know this roller coaster.
He's
we know
overwhelmed
it very
to
well.
stay.
Last week was just horrendous from Jack Flaherty. He gave up 8 runs in like 2 2/3. So
Next, you're gonna get Miles Michaelis and really want to die.
I saw some Cardinals fan put out there like, look at the young pitching in the NL Central: Skeens, Mizorowski, Hunter Green, Miles Michaelis. I was like, I think one of these is not like the other.
No. Michaelis is not young. One bit.
Anyway, Nick Frazier, you have our question of the day. What are we asking this morning?
Yeah, I was eating some food last week, and this is going to be kind of weird, but the wings are delicious, right? Wings are delicious,
Oh,
especially
chicken. Okay,
wings
good.
are great.
Yeah,
Chicken. I thought you got a head start on something.
No. So the question of the day is, what is the messiest food to eat? What is the messiest food to eat?
It's a good one.
I know it's a very simple, plain Jane style question, but you can basically bounce off this question anywhere.
There we go. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can text or call. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. That is our question of the day. What is the messiest food to eat? Maybe if you got a story of eating a messy food on a date or something like that, what's a food you wouldn't want to eat on a first date? We'll take all of your stories, all of your answers on our phone lines. Again, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into the Preds draft from last night. 3 picks for Barry Trotz. Made a little bit of a trade up in the early 20s as well. We'll dive in, especially on the pick at number 5. Brady Martin is the Preds' 3rd ever pick in the top 5 of the NHL draft. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you on this Saturday morning. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here making the Nashville Predators first selection. What a big day for these young athletes. Just the start's beginning for them. So, I mean, there's a journey ahead of you, and I want to wish you guys all the best of luck. I want to say hi to all the fans at Bridgestone. I know you guys probably aren't having any fun. I miss you guys. What a place to play. With that, with the 5th overall selection, the Nashville Predators in the 2025 NHL entry draft, select from the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, Brady Martin.
That was Shea Weber live from the 6th fairway announcing the Preds' 5th overall pick last night. Brady Martin, the center, who maybe wasn't the top prospect on a lot of Preds fans' boards, but he does fit the Barry Trotz mold, and he was the 5th overall pick for Nashville last night. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, 4's Company here on this Saturday morning, reacting to the Preds' big draft night last night. Made 3 picks: Brady Martin at 5, Cameron Reed at 21, Riker Lee at 26. So Brady Martin was picked over 2 of the guys that I think most people were looking at: Porter Martone, the winger, and then center James Higgins, who ended up being the next 2 picks after that. But the Preds went with Brady Martin. We're going to dive into that, but let's hear what some people who are maybe a little bit more knowledgeable in hockey had to say last night on our draft night in Smashville coverage. Robbie Stanley and Chris Mason reacted to Brady Martin's selection and the competitive drive that he has when he's out there on the ice.
I could have went for Martone and been happy with that.
Well, and this goes back to an interview that Barry Trotz did the other day on 102.5 The Game, and he was asked about, what quality is the most important thing that you're looking for. And what he talked about was the drive and the compete. And everybody you ask in this draft process here says if you're looking for the number 1 guy for drive and compete, it's Brady Martin. And that's what they've ended up with here.
Yeah, that's like Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes,
it's that type of player.
A great example.
It's the guy that cannot turn it off. It's in his DNA. He can't help it. You're going to get that every single game, no matter what. And I read a lot of scouting reports on Brady Martin. That's what they said. They said it's every game. A lot of these guys, and everyone's got different attributes and personalities, and the skill guys, some nights it's easy and some nights it's not. And you're going to excel. And, there's ebbs and flows. With Brady Martin, it's full send 100% of the time. But whether his offensive upside is as high as these guys, probably not. But you're getting a guy, in my opinion, that's going to be an impactful NHLer for many, many years.
So again, that was Chris Mason, Robbie Stanley reacting to the Predators' selection of Brady Martin. And I think C-Mace said it pretty well there, that maybe he doesn't have the offensive upside of Porter Martone and James Higgins, who those guys are going to put the puck in the net. They're going to be playmakers. But Barry Trotz said last night that he thinks Brady Martin has the it factor, and that was a big reason why they picked him. What are your guys' thoughts on this pick for the Preds? A guy who, you take him in the top 5, you're expecting that he's going to be a key piece of this team for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you go draft a farm boy from Canada who I guess his atmosphere, ensembles, everything in Nashville. I mean, the go-get attitude, the grittiness. But in that clip there, he mentioned, maybe, like you said, offensive production may not be his thing, but in the reality of it all, it compensates for lack of defensive production as well. That's how I look at it. But again, I'm no hockey savant when it comes to that. I mean, this guy in 2 seasons in the OHL, he's had 72 points last year in 57 games, which is impressive. So, I mean, he's continued to grow in the juniors of hockey juniors league. Is that yeah, those little, I guess, 4 tiers of whatever it is. So, I mean, it just comes down to if he can make that jump to professionals when the ECHL and OHL is still juniors. So I got to go back on the tiers of hockey leagues. But if he can make the jump to the next level and get to the AHL eventually and, pan out, then that's great. I mean, I just look at this as a couple years down the road.
It's definitely a couple years down the road. I don't think we'll see Brady Martin here in Nashville next year. I would have preferred James Higgins. I'll be completely honest. But looking at it from an objective point of view, I think James Higgins has a lower floor than Brady Martin does. I think James Higgins has a higher ceiling than Brady Martin does. But that thing that stood out to me the most during that clip, Chris Mason compared Brady Martin to Ryan O'Reilly, the competitive edge, kind of the similar offensive style of play. I'd be okay with a Ryan O'Reilly on this team if that's his comp. And if you watch the ESPN broadcast, they comped him to Sam Bennett, who, by the way, just got an 8x8 extension over in Florida.
Yes, he did.
And won a Conn Smythe for the Florida Panthers. I'd be okay with a player like that. I don't know about you guys. I'd be okay with a Sam Bennett. That saying, would I have preferred Hagens? Maybe a little bit, because I think he was projected number 1 for a long time for a reason.
Right.
He fell to 7, and that's just because of the season he had last year at BC. But you look at James Hagens, he's a sophomore at BC. Chances are he's probably going back to college to finish out his collegiate career there before he even steps foot in the Boston Bruins organization. So the people that are melting down on our text line, all over social media, fire Trotz. I think you're being a little over melodramatic. I don't think this is a horrible pick. Were there better options? Sure. But I'm glad they took a center. I think I'm more happy that they took a center in Brady Martin than I would have been with Porter Martone.
I think it's a good point. And I think people are acting like they made the biggest reach of all time by taking Brady Martin.
He was projected 5 through
I
7.
think Brady Martin goes 7th at the latest. Like, I think if the Preds had gone Hagens, I think the Bruins probably take Martin. So it's not like they went way down the draft board to get this guy. He was a late riser. It's kind of the opposite of James Hagens. Hagens a year ago was the number 1 guy in this class. Didn't have a great year and fell down the board. Brady Martin, maybe a little bit more of an unknown, shot up draft boards and ends up going number 5 overall. I don't think Brady Martin is going to be on this team this year, but the way Barry Trotz talked about him, there might be a chance. They said that he's not coming to development camp and to, training camp when we get more towards the fall just for the experience. He's coming to take somebody's job, is what Barry Trotz said. So who knows? Maybe this is a guy who isn't going to be 21, 22 before he actually makes an impact on the NHL team. Maybe it's like 19 or 20 and he can be out there, probably not as like a top line, a top 6 forward, but he could be a guy who gets a lot of experience playing the bottom 6, the middle 6, and eventually works his way up to being one of your better players.
Yeah, I mean, what you said there about Barry saying he'll be at camp, to me, I just look at that as coach speak. Everybody keeps comparing Barry Trotz to General Manager Barry Trotz and Coach Barry Trotz. Hearing the broadcast last night on ESPN saying, "Oh, this is a Barry Trotz guy." Like, I look at this as, and I don't want to be negative Nelly, but if Andrew Brunette does not work out, and then this whole thing just unfolds, that is a guy that Barry Trotz chose and not Andrew Brunette.
Yep.
So you're able to continue building, and then you move on from Brunette. And then I guess the new assistant coach they brought in, after getting rid of Todd, Luke Richardson's his name?
Luke Richardson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he probably would take over, be the successor, and then you go on from there. So you're not losing a step. You're not taking 3 or 4 steps back. But as for him coming into camp, I look at that as coach speak. I look at it as lighting a fire under somebody's butt to, hey, you got somebody behind you now that we just drafted 5 overall. You need to step up. So I think that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think Barry Trotz, you mentioned like Barry Trotz, the coach, Barry Trotz, the GM. I thought Jared did say it well yesterday that sometimes Barry Trotz, the coach, might get in the way of Barry Trotz, the GM, thinking because the coach is always trying to win now. The coach isn't thinking 5 years down the road, but that's the GM's job, is he has to think 5 years down the road. Yeah, there are going to be windows where you push your chips to the middle and try and go all in, but the GM has to make sure that the future of the franchise is safe while the coach is trying to win immediately.
That's the problem. There's 2 ends of the spectrum.
Right.
If you're going all in this year and you think you can compete, good on you. If you go out there and win, then guess what? You were right. You look like a genius. If you go out there and,
if it's the same
crap
year
the
as
bed,
this year,
score 60 points the entire season, then guess what? You just set your franchise back years. So I think that's a great point that Barry Trotz, the coach, and Barry Trotz, the GM, need to find a happy medium.
this is a Barry Trotz pick. And, if you want a succinct, very descriptive explanation of why Barry Trotz made this pick, I encourage you to go to Jared Stillman's Twitter. He tweeted out a clip from yesterday's show that I think will sum it up, in just a couple of words. Really well done from Jared yesterday. I think the Preds, again, it's not the flashy pick, and I can scroll through the text line from last night, and
meltdown.
A lot of people not happy with Barry Trotz, but there is something about it. Just feels like it's a name value reaction. Like people knew the name James Hagens, people knew the name Porter Martone, because that was kind of who everybody was talking about this week. Is it going to be Hagens? Is it going to be Martone? And when it's not one of those guys, I think people think it's a worse pick. That's not necessarily true. I look back at the Titans draft 2 years ago, and right now, I think it kind of checks out. But the conversation was Joe Alter, Malik Neighbors for the Titans. It was who's going to be there, Alter, Neighbors, who are we going to get? And when it's J.C. Latham, people think it's a bad pick, but that's just because it's not the guy that you've been talking about all along. I think that's kind of why the reaction is the way it is from Preds fans.
Yeah, and two, I look at it as like, obviously Brady Martin, not the biggest name like you're talking about, but if you've been following this team long enough and those true Preds fans that are on the text line freaking out, go back and look at some players back in the day that had this grit, that showed this Smashville mentality. Like everybody loves the Jordan Tutus, the Darcy Hordichucks, Jason Arnott back in the day, who was a really good one. Like you look at all those players, they had that same drive, that same grit. And that's what Barry Trotz is trying to basically bring back. He's even mentioned it before in press conferences this past week of saying, I want to bring back, winning. I think it was on Jared's show, actually. Wants to bring back a winning mentality. Wants to bring back that, that
why?
Smashville feeling.
You know why?
Go ahead.
Because he coached that.
Bingo.
Those were his players. Jason Arnett was his player.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like that were his players. He wants to bring that back. And that's Barry Trotz, the coach, speaking.
So then it leads me to the thought I was just thinking now is that, like, if Barry Trotz is the one getting the guys that are not for Brunette's system, then whose system is he getting it for?
Yeah.
Barry Trotz system.
Exactly. So then is that what, Luke Richardson, Todd Richardson? I get the Todds mixed up.
It's
Too many Todds.
Todd Richards is gone. Luke Richardson is here now.
Thank you.
But here's the thing. Luke Richardson and Andrew Brunette are two very, very different coaches.
Right.
Andrew Brunette, so they say, is an offensive style guru. Luke Richardson is the opposite end of that spectrum. He is more of a defensive John Hines kind of coach.
You build out the back.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why he was hired, to increase, defensive intensity and stuff like that. But if, the bottom falls out and Andrew Brunette is gone by, I don't know, November, and Luke Richardson takes in, I'm curious how the style of the team changes.
And that's why I think it won't be much of a difference in transition, because I feel like that's the new standard that's going to be set with him there.
It's Barry Trotz's team. It's
like
the coach matters, but no matter what, it's going to be the Barry Trotz profile is what they're looking for. And I don't pretend like I've watched any of these prospects play a lot of hockey. Like I've seen the highlights. I would encourage Preds fans who haven't seen it to not overreact, because like you didn't go and scout these guys. Maybe there's a few people on our text line who have actually like gone in and watched some of these players play, but we're not going to know whether this was the right pick for another 5 years, probably minimum. So let's just, keep our powder dry, and we'll figure it out when Brady Martin actually starts playing in the NHL. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We are reacting to the Predators draft night last night in round 1. If you have thoughts, we'd love to hear from you. We'll touch on the other 2 picks the Preds made in the next segment. Cameron Reed at 21, Riker Lee at 26. And we will also talk a little bit more about what the Preds may do in day 2, as they have 2 picks coming up in the second round, 34 and 55. Be sure to tune into ESPN 94.9 The Fan tonight as the Nashville Sounds take on Jacksonville. Pregame begins at 5:20. First pitch is at 5:35. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan is presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you on this Saturday. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
What are you going to bring to the Preds? What is your game, and what should we expect from you as a growing hockey player?
Yeah, I think that my compete level and my work ethic is a big thing for me, and I compete up quick and I play physical. I have a lot of skill too, so I think I just bring all the assets, and yeah, no, I think I'll be a perfect fit for the Nashville Predators organization.
That was Brady Martin last night on the Draft Night in Smashville show here on 102.5 The Game, talking with Hal Gill about his fit for the Preds and the NHL. Martin, the 5th overall pick to Nashville in last night's NHL draft in the first round. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you on this Saturday for his company here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Tune into 102.5 The Game for NASCAR coverage of the Quaker State 400 today at 6 o'clock. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. So continuing to look at this Preds draft class. Preds had 3 picks in the first round last night. They were originally scheduled for 5, 23, and 26. Made a small move up from 23 to 21 to take Cameron Reed, a defenseman who I believe is committed to Michigan State. And so he will play there, probably a few years away from seeing him playing for the Preds or the Admirals for that fact. And then Riker Lee, a winger at 26. Overall, I think the Preds, that was probably the way I would have looked at it if I was the Predators. You have 3 picks, go get a center with your top pick, get a right-handed shot defenseman, and a goal scorer on the wing. I think that was kind of the blueprint that a lot of Preds fans were looking at for last night, and Barry Trotz ended up going exactly that way.
It looked like when they traded up for 21, they were going to pick between one of 2 defensemen. Obviously, we know which one they went, but the other one was the one whose name I'm blanking on.
Blake Fiddler?
No. He went to Ottawa at 23.
Oh, I know. I did watch that pick. I'm blanking on it.
Anyways, it looked like they were picking between 2 defensemen. It's a matter of, did they get the right one? And like we've been saying, we're not going to know if it was the right pick for years at this point. But it's interesting to see, like, they definitely checked all the boxes they wanted to check in the first round, in my opinion. You just said it. A center, a right wing, and a right shot defenseman. That's obviously what they wanted to do. Going forward, I feel like you got to take a goalie at some point. You have to fill that box. But honestly, it's kind of best available from now on to me. I don't know about you, but it's best available. Like, they've checked the boxes they want to check in the first round, and now you just kind of fill out what you need to fill out.
They did send away, I believe it was the 67th pick in that trade.
Yes.
So a 3rd round pick to move up to 21, but they do have 2 seconds. And I mentioned Blake Fiddler. It would not shock me if that's the pick at 34, if he's sitting there, you know, being a hometown kid. His dad played here. His dad was actually on with DVD yesterday and talked about how even though Blake was really young, he was born in Nashville and then moved to Dallas for a lot of his actual childhood, but he still always rooted for the Preds. Did not go in the first round last night, even though he was kind of expected to be mid-20s, but fell out of the first round. So maybe there's a chance the Preds are still able to grab him early in the second round. But I agree with you. I think one of their picks the rest of the way has to be a goalie. You kind of have a little bit of a void there after trading Yaroslav Askarov of a guy you can develop behind UC Saros and hopefully eventually take over for him, but at the very least can be a long-term backup.
I mean, yeah, I look at the goaltending situation. Obviously, the UC Saros thing is not great, but you have Justus Anonen.
Mm-hmm.
You got that one guy I was just enamored with last year. You know what I'm talking about, the Finnish goaltender that Pecorino was around during the Gold and Blue game. Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Jokela, I think his name was. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Justus Jokela. Yeah, I think this kid would be incredible. He's
that
like
just sounds like someone you would be just enamored with.
And I'm not making up the name. He was like a 4th or 5th round pick, I believe, a few years back. But I think the goaltending situation at the top looks kind of rough, but deep down in the depths of everything with the Preds organization, I think they're in good hands.
That's the problem with the Preds, though. They, on paper, have a great farm system with great prospects.
Right.
How many of them have come to the NHL level And I realize the jury's still out on a lot of them. That it's very, very early in their NHL careers. But how many of them have come out of Milwaukee and made an instant impact and panned out? Luke Evangelista was good his first year. Then last year he was, for lack of a better term, not good.
You do make a good point with that, because a lot of those young guys, they have small spurts with the Preds, like when they come up from Milwaukee, and then the following season they just kind of, I guess, fall off.
That's my worry with Fedor Svechkov, who they're worried or not worried. They're planning on, it looks like, making him the second center, pairing him with Steven Stamkos, which fine. But second-year players, Philip Tomasino, how did he go? Juuso Parssinen, how's he turned out? Tommy Novak, how's he turned out? None of them are here anymore.
Yeah.
So that's my worry. These pipeline players that you have in Milwaukee or even in AHL Atlanta, or not AHL, whatever Atlanta is, the equivalent of AA in hockey.
Yeah. The ECHL or whatever it is.
Whatever you have in the pipeline, in your back pocket, what happens when those guys get here and they don't pan out?
Then you're up a creek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does seem like the Preds continue to try the exact same strategy, and it's different players. So eventually one you hope will work out, but it's all right. Who's going to be the next young center who's going to step up and actually be the guy? And last year, Tommy Novak, I don't like, you can't put last season all on one player, but like that was kind of the hinge point, I think, for the Preds of, all right, we feel really good about our top line with, Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly and Gus Nyquist. And the second line, we just brought in Stamkos and Marchessault on the wings. We just need a center in between them who can be a playmaker, set these guys up to score goals, and Novak just wasn't good enough. You feel like if you had somebody there who could be that second line center, things could have gone a completely different direction last year. You hope Fedor Svechkov can be that, but I really would like to see Barry Trotz go out and get somebody established who can play that position. The issue is top six centers don't come around very often, and if they do, they're going to be expensive.
And that's why I'm glad they took a center at pick number 5. Because what if he is a top center? What if he is the guy that they invest all this time into, and he turns out to be just a franchise driver moving forward? There's pros and cons to both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a damage control or, overly positive, but I think oftentimes we look too much at the negative. And what if we're not looking at the positive? What if he is everything that the Preds hope he is? I guess we'll find out, but I'm not trying to damage control or say, hey, everything the Preds do here is fantastic. I was just hypercritical of their pipeline system and how guys have never panned out that come out of here. But what if Cody Martin, that's a basketball player, Brady Martin is what the Preds hope he is?
I mean, you make a valid point, because Barry Trotz and the Preds have $14 million in cap space?
Yeah, they got a lot.
Something around that. So then that leads me to the thing of, maybe Barry Trotz is just holding off until, maybe the Preds actually are looking good in the first 20 games where they can make a move for a player that, is worth $14 million or 10.
I mean, for all the people crashing out about Eric Holla is not a win now move.
Right. He's a bottom 6.
Right. Forward. He's a roster filler. He's a veteran to have in your locker room.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's being a homer to say, let's give Brady Martin a chance when you picked him 5th overall. Like, I understand that a lot of fans wanted Higgins and a lot of fans wanted Martone. When the Preds were on the clock, I was hoping it was James Higgins.
Me too.
So I was a little disappointed with the pick too, but these are 18-year-old kids, and Barry Trotz is one of the foremost experts when it comes to hockey. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and if it doesn't pan out, then, it didn't pan out. And that's a big miss for a GM that he's going to have to be held accountable for. But to say that we're going to give this 18-year-old a chance who is clearly a consensus top 10 prospect, I don't think that's, being a homer.
Right.
I just hope, and obviously when you get to the second, third round, so forth with the NHL draft, you don't really have much to play for the high level of the NHL for players to be drafted that late. But I look at this whole Barry Trotz situation as general manager. Start taking those risks.
Right.
Just start taking them, because
the big swings.
Yeah, like people have talked about the big swings. Start making them, and I really do think they missed out yesterday on somehow packaging those last 2 picks in the first round and getting a proven guy. I think they need to make a big swing with that amount of money they have for salary cap, along with those 2 picks that they've already picked people with. I think that was their opportunity to really find somebody that would help them at that second line center right now.
And I believe Alex Doherty tweeted this morning that Barry Trotz alluded to the fact that they were in on a big trade last night and it just didn't pan out. So maybe they were trying to make a big move with some of those later first round picks. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Again, the Predators are picking 2 more times in the second round. Plenty of picks throughout the rest of the draft for Barry Trotz. And in terms of the major 4 sports, the NHL is probably the most shot in the dark kind of draft. Baseball is becoming a little bit more plug and play. We've already seen a ton of first round picks make the big leagues this year from last year's draft. The NHL, you're picking 18-year-old kids. So once you get into the second round, we'll see if there are some big swings from Barry Trotz. Get out of the summer heat for craft brews, food, game, and entertainment at the 2025 Nashville Predators Craft Beer Festival today at Bridgestone Arena. For more details, visit theGameNashville.com/events. We will move on from the Predators, but we will take your thoughts if you have any reactions from the Preds draft or thoughts on what they might do the rest of the offseason. 615-737-1025. But it is 9:45, which means it's time for Newt's Notes coming up next here on 4's Company, 1025, 1063 The Game. Back to the classic.
So I have everybody's attention now.
The original intro for Newt's Notes here on this Saturday. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Jake Wallman here on 4's Company. Connor Newt, the floor is yours.
Okay. So it's time to make the college basketball is better than the NBA narrative a bit more fun. The ratings for the top 10 basketball games of the year, the 24-25 calendar, have come out. And if I can find them, I lost them. There they are. No, that's not it. Regardless, the results are a bit stifling. There we go. I'll run through them very quickly. The number one most watched game of the entire year is the national championship, Houston and Florida, with 18.1 million viewers. Number 2 is Game 7 of the NBA Finals with 16.4. 3 is Duke and Houston in the Final Four, 16.3 million viewers. Here's where it gets a little bit interesting. 4 is Auburn and Florida, a regular season SEC game with 14.8 million viewers. 5 is Michigan State and Auburn, which was a second round, Sweet 16?
That sounds right.
Sweet 16 matchup, 11.7. This one's funny. 6 is Kentucky and Illinois, a second round matchup, 10.1. 7 is Duke and Alabama, which is a Sweet 16 matchup, 9.8. And then the last 3 are all NBA Finals matchups. I bring you this to say it has become evident that the NBA does not move the needle unless it is in a championship setting. These college basketball games I listed, yes, one of them was a championship setting, and many others were in, postseason setting in March Madness. But Illinois, Kentucky, that's the first weekend of the tournament. Auburn and Florida is a regular season SEC game that took place before postseason even started. Now, I understand they're 2 top-ranked teams, and, that moves the needle a lot on ESPN, but where are the regular season NBA games? Where's the regular season Oklahoma City versus Cleveland Cavaliers? Not anywhere near this list. So I say this to say college basketball is maybe overtaking the NBA. Jake, you and I have talked about this before. Football is king. The NFL is going to be the most dominant sports league for a long, long time. And number 2 is probably college football because it's football and this country thrives off that sport. Seems to me like college basketball may be trending to number 3 based on these numbers that I'm seeing right here.
That's a good point. I think you might be right where March Madness is, I think, second to the Super Bowl in terms of an event that everybody, even if you're not a sports fan, pays attention to. Because people want to do their brackets and they'll watch that first weekend of the NCAA tournament no matter what. And once you get deeper, I think people start to get into it a little bit more. The NBA, in terms of regular season games, it used to be Christmas Day was their big day. But now that the NFL plays games on Christmas, I mean, people, given the choice between a late season NFL game and an early season NBA game, even though Christmas is supposed to be the NBA's day, people are choosing the NFL. And the NBA, like you said, outside of a championship setting where it's in the NBA Finals, I just don't think it's appealing to the masses.
Where are the conference finals? Where is your first round of the NBA playoffs? Frazier, do you care about the conference finals?
No,
Thank you.
I really don't.
Do you care about the first weekend of March Madness?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
It starts on a Thursday. You sit at the office and you watch it on your computer.
It's the best weekend of the year.
Exactly.
But I say this as a way of sadness. I miss the old NBA. I used to love the NBA from like 2010 to 2019 because they had stars. We talked about this before. That's the thing the NBA is missing other than competent defense. But that's one of the big things the NBA is missing is stars. You look at the finals you had this year. Shea is the MVP, but is he a household name? Could I go to a random person down on Broadway and say, hey, do you know where Shea Gilgeous-Alexander played college basketball? They probably wouldn't know. You've seen the videos where it's like, the guy that follows people around the finals and he's like, hey, how big of an OKC fan are you? And they'll go Die Hard. And then I'll go, okay, where did Case and Wallace play college basketball? And they can't tell you. The NBA just doesn't have that following like an NFL does, like a college football does in this part of the country. Like college basketball is trying to find. The only place the NBA has a cult following is in big cities with a team. Los Angeles, New York.
Those are the two big,
those are the two big ones. Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
They
care about the Celtics a lot.
But you could go to,
Atlanta?
No, but like if you went to Atlanta.
But look at these small cities like Memphis, Charlotte. Do those teams religiously follow the Grizzlies and the Hornets? I would argue Memphis follows the Memphis Tigers more than they follow the Grizzlies. I would argue Charlotte probably follows Duke or North Carolina basketball more than they do the Charlotte Hornets.
That's a good point. And like if you went to Atlanta, like I think the Hawks probably are third or fourth among teams
in that city?
They follow. Like
it's probably Braves,
Falcons, Braves, and then probably Georgia Bulldogs are all above the Hawks. Like
and maybe some Georgia Tech football in there too.
I just don't see the NBA being like, that's not what you lead with people anymore. Maybe it used to be of like, oh, you're a Lakers fan or something like that. But now it's
the NFL.
It's the NFL and college. Like college sports, mostly football, but I think basketball is in there too. I think those are the two that really get people talking these days. And for some reason, like ESPN still wants to talk about the NBA all the time, which is fine. But I just think there isn't a cult mass following for it, at least over the last couple of years.
I don't know. I think the NBA, and hopefully you guys are with me on this, should just start their season Christmas Day. Everybody plays Christmas Day.
I heard Robbie say this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Robbie.
Right.
Robbie.
Sorry,
said this
Robbie.
the other day.
Sorry, did not hear this. It's a Robbie's take. Sorry, never mind. But just it goes through till June or July.
Yeah,
I feel terrible now that I did not know that.
No,
sorry, Robbie.
No, but great minds think alike. You guys had the exact same idea, which it would be perfect if you open the season on Christmas Day, and then the NBA can pretty much dominate the summer. Because as much as I like MLB like regular season, I think a lot of people would be paying more attention to the NBA playoffs if there wasn't more going on during that time.
The other thing I think these ratings put an end to the narrative of, oh, well, no one cares about college basketball until March Madness. Your number 4 most watched game on this list was Auburn in Florida, a game that took place on February 10th, Super Bowl weekend.
Are you sure that that's not the Final Four game?
Auburn in Florida? Oh.
Because they played in the Final Four.
Oh. Well, it doesn't specify.
It doesn't have a date on there. But
so I'm running with the narrative that Florida at Auburn.
Right. But even if it's not the regular season game, like remember the Alabama-Auburn games this year?
Yeah.
Like those games, I feel like was appointment viewing. The NBA regular season doesn't have anything like that.
I'm kind of embarrassed now. You kind of just...
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Trust me. I'm over here saying a take that happened 3 days ago.
But regardless... Illinois and Kentucky is on here.
Right. That's a second round game.
That's a second round game, and not even the biggest game Kentucky played in that tournament. The next Tennessee and Kentucky, I'm absolutely shocked is not on this list.
Nathan Hermitage on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com says he's from Memphis and the town lives for the Grizzlies. Overall, you're right about small markets.
Maybe Memphis wasn't a good example.
Memphis, that is their only pro sports team, so that might be a little bit different. But
look at David Janes, for example. The guy lives and breathes Memphis Tigers.
Yeah.
Lives and breathes Memphis sports in
general. But small markets like Charlotte, Utah. Do you think people in Salt Lake City, Utah are waking up and breathing in Utah Jazz basketball?
Yeah, they're all worried about Ace Bailey.
They are. They are. I would argue the people in Utah are worried about Utah Utes or BYU or something like that. Utah Mammoth.
Hey, BYU athletics is on the rise.
Oh, yeah. BYU basketball is going to be fun this year, man.
AJ Dybonsa, is that?
Dybonsta.
Five-star recruit for basketball, and then they just got a 5-star quarterback in football. So look out for the Cougs.
It's because Mark Pope left. He was the curse on that program.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We're going to get into our question of the day coming up, which is, what is the messiest food you can eat? After Nick Frazier talking about some wings.
I could give you a few.
We'll get to our answers coming up next. We'll get to your answers. Again, 615-737-1025. Speaking of chicken, this week's Nashville's best deal is Red's Hot Chicken. Red's Hot Chicken on West End is bringing the heat. Don't miss their hot chicken and waffles or the mac and cheese crunch wrap. Sounds delicious, but that could be an answer. Mac and cheese crunch wrap, possibly one of the
That
messiest foods you can eat.
Incredible, right?
You can grab a $30 gift card now for only $15 while supplies last at the game, Nashville.com/deals. Hour number 1 in the books. Hour number 2 coming up here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Second hour of the program here on this Saturday. 4's Company brought to you by LPL Financial Nashville and Patrick Conger. Financial planning for tomorrow so that you can enjoy today. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Here in hour number 2, got a lot of fun stuff planned. We're going to get to our question of the day here. What is the messiest food you can eat? You can answer on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. We'll have Frazier's Files coming up at 10:30. And then Chase McCabe, the suit, will join us live from Albany, New York, as he prepares to call the Nashville Cats and the Albany Fireworks in the, is it the AF1 Crown Championship? Is that the name? It's not the Arena Bowl.
No, it's the AF1 Crown Championship.
Crown Championship.
I like Arena Bowl better, though.
Me too.
I wish they'd be playing this in a mall.
Yeah.
The Mall of America. Isn't that where it was last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. No, this one is in Albany. The Cats looking for a championship, and you can listen to pregame coverage right here on 102.5 The Game and on 93.3 Totally Hit starting at 11:30 right after us. But first, let's get into our question of the day. Nick Frazier was in charge of it this morning, and he wants to know what's the messiest food you can eat. Wings has been discussed. I think that's going to be a popular answer. Like, if you get some messy wings, not only do you need like a whole roll of paper towels, you're going to it's going to be stuck on your hands for a while after that. So I think wings is probably one of the best answers you could have.
And also ribs falls in this
Ribs.
category, especially if they're like the sticky kind. You don't want sticky ribs. They're just, next one on the list for me, I don't know, maybe chili dog.
Yeah, chili dog will do it.
I love chili dogs.
We're 6 days away from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Best sports event on planet Earth.
Sport is a stretch.
Sport is a stretch.
But we're not getting into that today. But I think ribs and wings are the two. Like, those are kind of the, like I mentioned, foods you don't want to eat on a first date. I think those are the two that are brought up the most.
Where are you going to eat ribs on a first date?
I don't know.
Wingstop?
Texas Roadhouse with
yeah.
Josh from Nevada.
Cinnamon butter.
If you're going to Texas Roadhouse, you're getting a steak, pal.
Did you hear this on DVD yesterday?
I did not.
Apparently, Josh from Nevada, very faithful listener to the station, he was meaning to text his wife, but texted the station and was like, "Hey, honey, the kids are with your parents tonight. Let's go to Texas Roadhouse."
Take me with you, Josh.
Yeah, I'd love to go get some Texas Roadhouse. So ribs and wings. I think you're right, chili dog. Earl on the YouTube chat says Sloppy Joe. That's a good answer.
Oh, I love Sloppy Joes, man. My answer would have to be Doritos / Cheetos. You get the dust on your hands.
Fingers.
It's hard to get rid of that, I've been thinking about it all week because a family friend of mine was talking about his biggest pet peeve is people that shake his hand after eating Cheetos. I'm like, that is very specific, but I understand your pain. So he's a teacher. He works with my mom. So what they did for his birthday one time is they got him a card, and all the kids ate, they got a big family size of Doritos and Cheetos and whatnot. They all ate the Cheetos, and then they stuck their fingers on the white card and handed it to him.
Oh, no.
He was not happy.
Adds a little sentimental value to it. There you go.
Kyle from Cookville on our text line says saucy wings. Again, that's going to be very popular, but he also says homemade burritos can get pretty messy. Burritos would be a good one, depending on what you put in it. Like if you're somebody who puts maybe some guac or queso or something like that, that's when it could get pretty messy.
And loaded nachos too on that level.
A lot of like Mexican food in general, tacos can get pretty messy.
Do you eat nachos with a fork?
No, that's finger food.
Even loaded, you should go all in.
I mean, I guess it depends. If there's chili or something on it,
yeah,
then you might have to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right,
like ground beef,
pulled pork,
barbecue nachos sound good.
Oh,
I had some Thursday night at the game.
Oh,
Soccer
really?
Game. Very good.
Yeah, that does sound good.
You don't use fork with your nachos?
I don't. Well, like maybe if you're sharing with a big group, like you might, if you have the little plates, like you kind of fork and knife it and put it onto your plate. But then I would go with the fingers.
Have you ever tried to eat Chinese with chopsticks?
Yes,
That's very messy.
I'm actually decently okay with chopsticks.
See, I don't like Chinese that much.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's one of my go-tos, but
I'll eat like sweet and sour chicken. I think is good.
Orange chicken's good.
Orange chicken's good.
yeah.
I like dumplings, but that's about it.
You know what's grown on me? Sushi. I wasn't a big
Yes,
sushi
sir.
guy, and
I do not like it.
over the last couple of months, I've gotten sushi a couple times, and I'm a pretty big fan now. So I think it was the idea of the raw fish that just kind of like weirded me out. But once I got into it and started trying some different types of rolls, I'm into sushi.
There's a roll, I forget the name of it, but they put like a peach glaze on top of it.
Oh,
It's very good. You don't even taste the fish.
I've tried sushi before. My sister loves it. I don't.
yeah,
You'd love it.
It's a white girl food.
it
for
is.
sure.
You got to go with the cooked sushi.
Oh, I don't know if I've done.
That's not sushi.
Yeah,
That's just cooked fish.
So I mean,
fish and rice.
each their own, you know.
That's fair.
So slightly off topic, but we're talking about weird foods. My buddy is off in the Cape Cod League calling
Oh.
baseball games. He says up there they sell burgers, but instead of buns, they're glazed donuts.
Oh,
So if you are interested in having
a heart
Type-
attack.
a heart attack or a type 2 diabetes, please go to the Cape Cod League.
Yeah, that. I mean, baseball knows how to make the weirdest possible food. So like,
I wouldn't.
I've had a burger
is
like
it
that.
is it the Rangers stadium that does the boomstick with like the 3-foot-long hot dog and it's like loaded up
Oh.
with queso and
How-
chili and
Hal Gill in Madison Square Garden this past season got a massive, like 5-foot long hot dog. He would disappear often throughout the broadcast
does not
for
surprise
no
me.
apparent reason.
Does not surprise me. 5724 says a pie eating contest. That would get messy.
Yeah.
Pie in general depends on the pie.
What's
Yeah,
your
I would
favorite
say
pie?
depends on the pie.
What's the best pie?
I'm a key lime pie guy.
Ugh.
I love me some key.
It's cherry, pal,
Apple pie?
and apple.
Pumpkin's good too.
Yes, pumpkin pie is good.
Pumpkin's underrated.
Jackson said crab legs and lobster. Is it bad? I've never had lobster before. I don't think.
Pretty
Have
good.
you ever
Or
had?
actually, no. I've tried it one time, but like not. I've never like gone and sat down and like the butter sauce and all that kind of.
Have you ever done crawfish?
Yes. Yeah, we
That
did a
gets
crawfish
messy.
boil at my first house when I moved here.
I'm not a fan of crawfish, to be honest with
It was
you.
okay.
Really?
It's not
Yeah.
great.
Fellas, you gotta give it a second chance. It is a messy food, but I'm an eater that just doesn't care. Just
Well, if you
give
do-
me a table and food. My hands are gonna be messy.
Oh,
It's
I
gonna be
committed
all
to the
over
bit.
my face.
I committed to the bit when I had crawfish. I got the bib with the lobster on
the
it.
potatoes.
Yeah.
You got to commit.
I might have to do that.
Gotta get the potatoes with it.
Really.
The whole potato, like the it's pretty good.
All right. 8586
Seasoned.
on our text
Seasoned.
line says cooked is not sushi. He agrees with us. I think there is a name for it though, and I can't think of what it is. But I did a spicy salmon roll. Solid. Wes from Hermitage said sloppy Joe nachos. It's his messiest meal, but he doesn't care who he eats in front of because it's that good. Wes also won the Braves tickets yesterday for Ask D-Mace, and he said if you haven't seen my live reaction video, you have to check it out on Facebook. So I might have to, maybe during the break, we'll check that out.
I think you're the only one here that has Facebook.
So cooked
in you, I trust.
cooked sushi. It's nigiri.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that was the name I was thinking of. So
It's
615-737-1025. If you have more thoughts on the messiest meal, we are going to move on. I have a question for the show. I guess this can be Lyman's lessons or whatever we're calling it. It's not officially labeled that in the grid, but
We'll get there.
I have a question. I would like the input of the show. We're going to get into that coming up next. 4's Company here on this Saturday morning, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Tune into 102.5 The Game today, as well as 93.3 Totally Hits, as the Nashville Cats take on the Albany Firebirds in the AF1 Crown Championship for the first ever Arena Crown 2025. Pre-game starts at 11:30 right after us. Kickoff coming up at noon, with coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. We will have Chase McCabe, who will be calling that game live from Albany, coming up in just under 30 minutes. Excited to talk with the suit. For this segment, we are the show that loves to talk about the college football video game. If you listened to us at all last summer, you know that pretty much for the month leading up to the game's release and a couple weeks after, we spent at least one segment talking about the game. The new college football video game comes out in just under 2 weeks, which means we have to start figuring out what teams we're going to be coaching. I have, in my online dynasty, which I play with some of my friends from college, I'm going to be coaching the Florida Gators. That has already been decided. 2 of my other friends are in the Sunshine State at Miami and Florida State. 2 others in the SEC. So I've got some rivalries ready.
You put yourself right in the middle.
I did.
That was smart.
You gotta give yourself a chance to tune up for the playoffs. Anyway, I want some help picking my offline dynasty, where I, climb my way up from a coordinator at a small school all the way to a national champion wherever I go. So I have narrowed it down to 2 options. Last year, I was a little bit more detailed in how I picked my team, ended up at Wyoming. This year, I just kind of looked through and I picked 2 that I like, and I want you 3 to vote.
If it's Delaware or Missouri State, I'll be mad at you.
No Delaware, Missouri State.
Okay, good. Don't be basic.
No, because that's just the new teams. Delaware was moderately intriguing, just because I like the Blue Hens. I think the uniforms are cool, but I did not go with them. So here are my 2 teams. I would like you guys to vote. Best out of 3 will be the one that I start with as the offensive coordinator. 8586 on our text line says July 7th should be a federal holiday.
I'm not going
deluxe edition either. The $30 extra just wasn't worth it for me.
Now 25 is hung high in the rafters for me.
Yeah.
AKA placed on a high shelf and is retired.
I did play a game against one of my friends the other night, and we got to win. I was down 14 at halftime, outscored him 28-3 in the second half.
There you go.
For a win. Anyway, here are the 2 teams. First out of the Sun Belt, the Appalachian State Mountaineers.
Oh, I got some buddies that coached at App State last year.
Do I go to Boone? I felt like that was a popular one last year. I was, in terms of Sun Belt teams, I was between App State and James Madison, but
JMU would be fun.
I was pulled towards Boone, North Carolina.
They have a great stadium in the fall.
They do.
That you can sing a song.
Right.
Oh, play me some mountain music.
Luke Combs went there.
He did.
So App State is my first option. The other, about as far as you can go in the opposite way,
Hawaii.
The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Where will Coach Lyman start in college football 26?
You know what? I like Hawaii.
You like Hawaii?
I think
The
Hawaii.
bows.
I like their colors. I think they got some great uniform options. They got the one helmet that has just all the islands on it. I think it's white. It's pretty sweet. They got green, they got black, they got white. I like the bows.
Okay. 1 for the bows.
If Hawaii has their 1985 throwbacks, they're all green with the white helmet.
I think they do. I think they do have that one in there.
I think you found your answer.
Is it Hawaii?
Yeah. And also, I had a buddy of mine I played high school football with. He played for Hawaii. And
really?
He's still out there. He loves it. He says it's a great place to live, great football atmosphere.
Okay. It might be decided, but were you thinking Hawaii too?
You know what? I can't lone wolf this thing, I guess. I do like Hawaii's rainbow uniforms. So
we're sweeping on the bows.
Sweep.
Wow. Okay. That was not the way I expected that to go.
If they have the 85 jerseys, if they don't, I think App State might be your place to get.
You're still outnumbered.
Yeah. I'm just saying in general, though.
See, I thought it was going to go the other way. So I get back-to-back years, I'm going to be in the Mountain West, which is fine. The Mountain West is a fun league.
You're just
to play
a coordinator. You're just passing by.
I'm only going to be there for a year or 2. And apparently they fixed the coaching carousel this year. So
I mean, you got those. Those are freaking sweet.
Okay, yeah, with the rainbows on the shoulders.
If you can see on the chat, they're white and they have rainbows on the shoulders. Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
I'm excited. So there it is. Jake Lyman will be the offensive coordinator at Hawaii to start
Is your
off.
coach's name Jay Kleiman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for the show, kind of going off that,
Sure.
what you said, Nick. Do you guys support creating your own coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I wouldn't.
I will not be taking.
I
over
do
a
as well.
A pre-existing.
There are some people that I guess aren't on that train, and it's weird to me. Like, why play as somebody else? You know, be genuinely you.
Yeah.
Coach Cletus, baby.
Especially for the offline one, I'm gonna be me, and I'll make my alma mater Virginia Tech, and we'll.
Now I find it intriguing because I'm going to create my own coach, but here's the thing: you get to hire a real staff,
Right.
like real coaches.
Which I actually am excited for this year.
It's
Is that
very
like
exciting.
the coordinators are actually real coaches instead of just John Smith.
Well, I'm more excited. Like, if a head coach gets fired, like let's say Mark Stoops gets fired
Right.
by Kentucky, I'll bring him back as a DC or
Yeah,
something.
that is a good point. If any of these head coaches get fired, they could become your offensive coordinator, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to use my real name for the Florida one. I might make it one of the great players from Florida or something like that.
Tim Tebow is coaching the Florida Gators.
Coach Swamp Puppy.
Swamp Puppy. Maybe Urban Meyer can come back.
Yeah. Dan Mullen. Make Dan Mullen twice because he's coaching UNLV.
I could be Steve Spurrier.
Oh,
Just
yeah?
bring him back. Anyway,
Aaron Hernandez.
I'm excited. Hawaii.
And App State.
Something funny?
Yeah, Hawaii is going to be good. Do you guys have any idea where you're going to be starting? I know you're going to do a Kentucky one.
I'll probably start a Kentucky one, but I'm also between a few. I want to go a different route for my actual career. I'll be a coordinator, but I want to start at a low end Power 4. So I'm thinking Georgia Tech.
I like that.
West Virginia. There was one more. Don't mind me. Let me just
maybe somewhere out
pull it
west.
Yeah, maybe somewhere out west. Oh, Washington State.
Ooh,
that's what it was.
Pullman. I kind of like that, but then you're stuck in the Pac-12, which.
Well, I'll put together.
Oh, you're going to remake the Pac-12?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, that makes sense.
Speaking of, there's a new remake of the Pac-12, going to be the Pac-8.
Yes,
if you guys saw that,
I saw Texas State joined. So the conference champions is coming back with minus the champions.
No, it's just a conference.
So does that consider them a G5 school? Or?
Yeah, they're not a power. Just because they have the name Pac doesn't make them a power.
Right. I mean, look at basketball. Yeah. They'll have Gonzaga. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And football, Boise's joining, right?
Yes.
So you have at least one team that's going to be decent. Washington State and Oregon State are usually fine, but yeah, it's going to be weird to have that back without any of the actual staples of that conference. But anyway, excited for the new game. It's coming out. Early access is in 9 days, and then the full game comes out in 12. So
it's going to go by quick.
It is. We only have one more show after this until we will be playing the game. So the show on, would it be July 12th?
Yes. 11th.
Nope, 12th.
I thought 12th was a Sunday.
No, because the 4th is a Friday. So 12th would be the Saturday.
Oh.
So on the 12th, we'll have to recap our first experiences. Oh yeah.
Yeah. July 12th. Pick them up.
Rest in peace to Skillet, by the way.
That's going to be great. We're going to play the game and eat out Skillet.
Yeah.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We're going to take a break.
There it is.
Frazier's Files is coming up next.
Just a quick tease because.
Oh, yeah. What do we got for Frazier's Files?
He mentioned Texas Tech, talked about the Pac-12 being the Pac-8. That's kind of where I lean towards for my college football dynasty.
Oh,
maybe Texas State as a lower tier team, but my team I'm picking is Texas Tech.
See, I did think of Texas State as
just
that was probably my third option behind Hawaii and App State. So lots of great options in the game.
But that whole Texas State thing to Pac-12, I'm going to tell you how it affects Conference USA and MTSU.
Coming up next.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Frazier's Files is next. You're on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. 4's Company.
It's an appropriate song after the thing I accidentally said.
Yeah, we might need Law and Order in here.
Can I issue an official apology to all of Nashville for saying that horrible thing?
I mean, we were talking about the messiest foods.
Oh my God, you just made it worse.
No, I mean, you put ribs in that. It's pork ribs.
Yep, pork ribs.
You're good.
4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. What a moment on the show in the last segment.
An all-timer. That'll go in my portfolio.
Yeah, that one will be clipped somewhere. I'm sure of it. It's time for Frazier's Files. You hear the Law and Order music. Frazier teased it, talking a little conference realignment here. Don't forget, Chase McCabe going to join us in the next segment, talking Nashville Cats. And you won't want to miss at 11 the second edition of Where Are They Now? Connor Newt will host this week. Last week was an all-timer, so make sure you keep it right here. Nick Frazier, it's your segment. Take it away.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll get into all this now with the whole Pac-8. Maybe it's the Pac-12 conference, but now it's the Pac-8 going into the 26-27 season with Texas State leaving the Sun Belt and going to the Pac-12. Now, the whole situation brings into the domino effect of Conference USA, because then you have Louisiana Tech that's going to leave Conference USA, go over to the Sun Belt. They're trying to poach other schools as well. Western's been in that conversation along with MTSU. The buyout to get out of a conference is, I think, $5 to $10 million, depending on that number. So it could affect MTSU, and I think it's a beneficial thing if MTSU were to leave Conference USA, because one, it gives them a new landscape to, experiment in other conferences. Maybe it makes them one of the better schools in the Sun Belt if they were to move. I mean, $5 million, I think you can make that back in a calendar year, a school calendar year. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, and especially maybe if the TV deal's a bit better wherever you go next. Like, there's a reason that teams are leaving Conference USA.
Right.
And
no disrespect to MTSU, but you underestimate the promotion skills that they have.
Well,
Or rather, you overestimate.
Well, I'm just saying they might be able to get ahead of the curve when it comes to TV deals and just marketing their brand in general, because you have the new era of NIL, the new era of this salary cap in college football or in just college athletics in general. I think it's beneficial. And I mean, nonetheless, you could add basketball to the equation. I think they'd be a powerhouse in the Sun Belt when it comes to basketball.
Right. It's football obviously is the main moneymaker, but it's not all about football.
Right.
And you got to give the other sports a chance to compete at the highest level. And the Sun Belt, in terms of group of 5 conferences, I think across the board, it's probably right there with the American is probably the next best.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, the Mountain West is solid, but
in basketball
and everything
but among G5s,
right?
Yeah.
Among G5s, I think the Sun Belt, you're seeing a lot of those teams start to take big strides, and they added James Madison to it. And, my new school, or my runner-up, App State, is solid in football, and we've seen them make some big wins in basketball. So I think the Sun Belt would be a good move for them. I don't really know exactly what the landscape of conference realignment is going to look like at that level over the next couple of years, but I think it's safe to say that there's going to be more changes as we move forward, because schools are always looking for the places where they can make the most money and solidify their spot in the new landscape of college football as it continues to change.
Yeah, and as an alumni, I mean, Connor's almost there. He's still at MTSU.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. It just,
hopefully they didn't hear my comment and I won't be kicked out of school.
They love you over there, Connor. Kidding.
I feel so bad about saying that. It was
No,
such a
but
slip up.
Look, you got to look at it from a bigger standpoint of be ahead of the curve, like I mentioned before, because if you're not, then everybody else is going to leave Conference USA, and you're going to be stuck in the background thinking, well, we're one of the last teams in the conference. We're still going to be good, but, we don't have much competition. Then that dilutes the whole purpose of them going for a big bowl game on New Year's Day or whatever that may be. I mean, nonetheless, MTSU's not going to go, 12-0 or whatever that is. But
Right.
I mean, just
They could go a modest 7-5.
Yeah.
8-4.
But yeah,
Make a Bahamas
in
bowl.
order to be the group of 5 representative in the playoff, you got to win 11 games minimum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but then you're trying to make your schedule and you're in Conference USA and 2 or 3 teams that you normally play on a year-to-year basis are gone, like a Western Kentucky. Then you're thinking, well,
they'd play Western Kentucky would be a non-conference.
well, yeah, rivalry game, but at the same time, there are going to be some teams in Conference USA that actually help bolster your lineup of your schedule to help you get into the rankings aspect of the top 25.
But you're right, especially with the new college football playoff ranking where, the G5 isn't going to have a bye anymore.
No.
They're going to be a low end, 9 through 12 rank probably.
Most 11
likely,
or 12.
Unless they are just absolute world beaters.
Right.
Like Boise State comes in and is just knocking the socks off of their conference and playing solid non-conference games where they're playing, we're going to beat Washington by 50 or something like that. That's the only way that I could see a G5 school be ranked in like the top 6.
Looking at MTSU's schedule this year, their non-conference games are Austin P, which should be a win. At Wisconsin,
loss.
Got to go jump around in Madison, probably a loss. At Nevada, I don't know how good is the Wolfpack.
They're decent.
They're okay.
They're
that should be.
That's in an NFL stadium, is it not?
No, they play in Reno.
UNLV,
yeah, they play in Allegiant.
I would say that should be a good game, and then they host Marshall. Marshall's usually a decent group of 5 team, but that could be a winnable game in Murfreesboro.
I got a buddy that plays for Marshall.
Really?
Yeah, he's a running back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, MTSU, their first 3 Conference USA teams.
Did you swallow a bug?
No, it just my chin hit the microphone. I'm pulling a Rexroad. Sorry.
I mean, I clobbered the mic last week. I right hook.
You did.
Right.
You Mike Tyson that thing.
The first 3 teams on MTSU's Conference USA schedule this year, all were not FBS teams 2 years ago.
Delaware, Missouri State.
Yep.
Kennesaw.
Yeah. Kennesaw State on September 27th, then Missouri State. Oh, right. They go to the Wednesday schedule for a little bit there. They play 3 straight Wednesdays. And then, they wrap up towards the end of the season with FIU, Western Kentucky, Sam Houston, and New Mexico State. So interesting schedule, but those first 3 Conference USA games, if you get off to a good start in non-conference play, maybe go 3-1. If you lose that game at Wisconsin, there's a chance that MTSU could be bowl eligible by the end of October, which that's a great step for Derek Mason in year 2.
Huge turnaround too, from a team that went from, winning 3 games last year in the first year of the Derek Mason era, loses about half the team, just from parting ways in the portal. And some guys went on to bigger and better things like Amari Sanders. Is that his name?
Is Amari. The last name is escaping me.
The wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yes.
Went to Michigan State.
Yes. I can't remember his name.
But you mentioned, though, in their schedule, 3 of the teams they're playing this year in Conference USA were not FBS schools, which to me strengthens my argument as to why you need to leave Conference USA, because those teams that are coming in to see USA are looking at you as a conference powerhouse that's bolstering their schedule, that's bolstering their identity. You need to leave while you're ahead.
Right. I was about to make the same point of, even if MTSU, like, let's say the Blue Raiders went 11-1 this year, just like throw it out there. Big year for Derek Mason. Their only loss is at Wisconsin. With this strength of schedule, I still don't think that gets you that group of 5 bid. Like, they're going to look at the teams in the American and the Sun Belt and the Mountain West, and the strength of schedule is going to be significantly better that one of those champions is going to earn that bid. Would still be an unbelievable season, but you're right. If MTSU does want to compete at the top level of group of 5, Conference USA may not be the place to be.
Right. It's starting to become the point where a lot of these FCS schools are trying to go to FBS. They go to these smaller conferences, which is the whole, like I said, the whole domino effect of the whole start of this was the Pac-12. Pac-12 is causing all of this. So it's opening more opportunities for these FCS schools to say, you know what? Let's make the jump to FBS. Let's make some money. Let's do that. All because of the Pac-12.
It's going to be interesting. And we talked about the possible promotion relegation system a couple of weeks ago, but college football has a lot to sort out over the next few years, because it has been such a, the cliche is the wild, wild west of just, schools leaving conferences all over the place and the transfer portal and NIL. Eventually it has to get to a more stable place. But I think if you're a school like MTSU, you want to improve your standing before the gates kind of close, because I think eventually it's going to settle down and schools are going to stop moving conferences all the time. You want to get yourself in the best situation before that happens.
Yeah, so your money can kind of settle down, and not just for the program, but for players as well, recruiting, all that.
Going to be interesting.
Mhm.
It's a good point, and I'm excited to see what the new Pac-8 is. That are they going by the Pac-8?
It'll be the Pac-12.
It'll be
The Pac-12
because it's branded.
I guess eventually. Well, they used to be the Pac-10.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
But I guess, yeah, we'll have to see what that looks like with the two stragglers still in there, Washington State and Oregon State, and all of the different teams that they've brought in. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you want to chime in, we'd love to hear from you. Our text and phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. When we come back, the Nashville Cats are in beautiful Albany, New York for the AF1 Crown Championship today. Exciting game coming up between the Cats and the Firebirds. We're going to talk to Chase McCabe about that. But
The OTC.
yes, the suit.
Please
the
play
tribal
that coming
chief.
back.
I'm trying to look at this schedule because I know they played the Firebirds before, and I believe it was a really
It was close. The
tight
Firebirds
game.
won close.
Right. And the Firebirds in general have been a powerhouse. Yes. On May 10th, man, a barn burner. Albany won 71-55. That was in Albany, so in this arena. So in terms of arena football, a 16-point game is pretty close because you can come back from that in about a minute and a half. They actually did play earlier on in the year too here in Nashville, and the Cats lost that one close, 42-34. So Cats are 0-2 against Albany, but a team that they know, a team they've competed with, excited for this Crown Championship coming up with kickoff at noon. We will talk to Chase McCabe, who will be on the call for that game coming up next here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Yes.
The tribal chief is with us here on 4's Company. The Suit, Chase McCabe, Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman with you. Time to talk a little Nashville Cats, as the Cats are in Albany today, taking on the Firebirds in the AF1 Crown Championship. Chase McCabe will be on the call with Big Joe Dubin. Chase, thanks for joining us. How is beautiful Albany, New York?
First off, 4's Company, acknowledge me.
Yes. I chant
Yes.
OTC, but you are not the OTC.
No, that would be Roman Reigns.
You are
yeah,
ATC.
but I'm excited. Things are good. We are sitting high atop here of MVP Arena. For those of you that are older than you guys, probably know this place is Knickerbocker Arena, but Royal Rumble 1992, in which Ric Flair won the WWF title, was in this building. But we walked the field this morning. Both teams are kind of out doing their thing, doing some warm-ups right now, getting ready to go in the Arena Crown Championship game. So it's really cool. Big Joe's here. We're excited to be a part of this and be able to bring this game to you on both Totally Hits 93.3 and right here on 102.5 The Game.
How cool has it been for you guys calling the home games this year and now a chance to go win a championship today? I know this is an Albany team that you guys have seen before a couple months ago, and it was a great game, good matchup. I think we should have ourselves a fun game today.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, Jake, you probably know this feeling the first time you called a NCAA tournament game
right
with the Vanderbilt Commodores, that it's kind of like it hits you. It has a moment where it's like, it doesn't matter the level. This is a professional championship game. And that's what Joe and I were kind of talking about last night and this morning of, man, this is really cool, especially when you walk out on the field and you know that it's all come down to this. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a cool experience. Sat and talked to Jeff Fisher last night, just kind of about everything and watching this whole league evolve. They did a little awards banquet last night, gave out some league awards, including our own Greg Pogue, Executive of the Year for AF1.
All right.
So shout out to Pogie for that. Was really neat. But it's just, this thing's going to continue to evolve. And if you didn't get to a Cats game this year, next year you're going to want to go, whether it's in Nashville or Clarksville or wherever the case. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's competitive, and these guys are, going to leave it all out there today. So I think it's going to be a fun game, high-scoring game.
Chase, you being a Nashville local through and through, and as for myself and Connor, just if the Nashville Cats end up winning the Crown Championship of the AF1, what do you think that means just for the city and also the locals that have been here since day one?
Finally have a championship to celebrate. I mean, we've talked about it on our show, Nick, of that Nashville is now, I think, the last city with major sports that they don't have a championship. And look, I get it. Like, some people are probably going, arena ball, but it still counts. And I mean, this is a project that Jeff and his group have put together. I think it would mean a lot. I think it would be really cool to celebrate that. I mean, we were talking of what that moment would be like. And look, the odds are stacked against Nashville. I mean, this is an undefeated Albany team that last night they walked away with their quarterback, Sam Castronova's the MVP, wide receiver Dwayne Brown's the offensive player of the year, and Damon Ware, their head coach, is coach of the year, and they're undefeated. So, I mean, you look at this from an Albany standpoint, they're like, we got this. But Nashville has some swagger. They're coming in here confident. They've won 4 of their last 5. You mentioned, Jake, the previous matchup against Albany. That was Tyler Kolka, the Cats quarterback's first game with this team, and they did keep it close. So I think this one, even though the spread's 9.5, is going to be a lot closer than maybe people think, and I think it'd be really cool to see Nashville bring home a title.
All right, Tribal Chief, you are the coach of the Nashville Cats today. Knowing that the past 2 times you've seen this team, things haven't gone your way, what would your message be to the team in the locker room before the game?
Well, Darren Arbett is the coach, and that's a good thing because he has won 4 indoor championships, and he's going for his 5th today. He's a Hall of Fame coach. I would tell them you can't worry about the first 2 games because the first meeting, this Cats team has changed a ton because they've it was very early in the season. They're building this thing. And as I mentioned, the second meeting in Nashville, that was Tyler Kolka's first start with this team. So a lot's changed. They're more on the same page. They have confidence. The Cats just came out on the field, actually, and you can kind of feel that swagger that they have. But at the end of the day, you got to go out and just play the game. I mean, I know nobody likes that saying of, it's just another game. It's a championship game, but that's the mindset that you have to have, and I think that's the message that Coach Arbette has sent to his team.
Chase McCabe getting ready to call the Nashville Cats and the Albany Firebirds in the AF1 Crown Championship. Pre-game coverage coming up at 11:30. Chase, I know you're focused on the Cats up there in Albany, but big night for the Preds last night.
Yeah.
What were your initial reactions to the first round for Barry Trotz? Brady Martin, Cameron Reed, Riker Lee all selected by Nashville last night.
My reaction was when I put an opinion on Twitter, I got blasted and told I was carrying water for the organization because I'm the program director of the flagship. So I was
Such as life.
All these kids are 18, 19 years old or younger. Let's just pump the brakes. I know no one wants to hear it. Everybody wants me to get on and say Barry Trotz didn't know what he's doing and that was a bad pick. I don't know if it's a good pick or a bad pick or not. I don't think anybody truly knows that. And I admittedly do not watch amateur hockey all that much. So everything I've read tells me that it might be a bit of a reach. That Brady Martin, the 5th overall pick, that they passed on Porter Martone and James Higgins. And I know a lot of people really wanted one of those guys. I can certainly understand the frustration there. I don't pretend to understand what Trotz and his staff saw, so I get it. And if it doesn't work out, then they're not going to be here. That's how this typically goes. But Barry's been doing this a long time. He's forgotten more hockey than I'll ever know, so I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know much about the other two guys. I know they did address needs. Did get a center, got a defenseman, got a winger. So we'll see. But it's also going to be 3 or 4 years before these guys, maybe Martin sooner, but will really help the Predators. But I was kind of surprised that the only trade they made was moving up to 21. I really thought that there might be a move for them to acquire a veteran player to add to this group, especially on defense. But I do know, unless something's changed, that I've kind of been reading that if Aaron Ekblad hits free agency, that could be one to watch.
Chase, were you surprised? Obviously you were surprised at them not getting away those last 2 picks in the first round, but would you have preferred that if that were to take place?
It's a really good question, Nick. Probably yes. It goes back to the question that I asked Barry in his press conference and Jared then, asked when they sat down. What lane are you in? Are you in the win now, be competitive now mode, or build for the future? And right now he's kind of in the middle of the highway, going for both. And, as Willie has said, there's no reason you can't go for both, but at some point you might have to pick a lane. My preferred lane probably would have been more the build for the future, which is what what he did. So, but I was surprised because I thought he was going to continue to try and do both and add, especially a defenseman. And I'm sure he made calls and talked to other GMs and probably just felt the price was too high to pass on that, and so he ended up doing what he did. I'll be curious of 35. They had the 3rd pick today in the 2nd round, and what they do there. But I did think that there was going to be some movement and a player was going to be acquired.
Tribal Chief, have you requested that Night of Champions be played on the Jumbotron? And if not, do I need to make a phone call to Albany?
So you'll appreciate this, Connor. on the game notes, as I'm holding up on the video stream, Nick Guerrero, who does a great job of putting all this together, under the cat bites, the notes, it says Night of Champions, King of the Ring, Kolkamania for Tyler Kolka, the quarterback, the triple threat. So there's definitely some Nick, being a fellow wrestling fan, has worked that in. Yeah, I do wish it was on. I've debated, do I have it on a screen while I'm trying to call the game, or do I just go watch it later? I'm probably going to just watch it later. So
I'll stay.
But I know you'll keep me posted too.
I'll stay in your ear. The Punk Life kicks off later
that
today.
was pretty good.
That's great.
That was definitely pretty good.
Chase, hope you have a great call. Go Cats. And I do want to let you know, if the line judge is a little bit late, just know Jake Wallman is booking it after the show to get up there in time.
Well, he needs to get here. That is for sure. Thanks so much, guys. We'll have pregame coverage at 11:30. We have a great conversation with quarterback Tyler Kulka and also head coach Darren Arbette. But really looking forward to it, and appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thanks, Chase. Hope you have a great call. Cats and Firebirds coming up, 11:30 pregame, noon kick in the AF1 Crown Championship. All the coverage right here on 102.5. The Game and 93.3 Totally Hits. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's time for one of the fastest growing segments in all of sports talk radio.
Watch out, Celebrity B-Days.
Where are they now? This week, hosted by Connor Newt. That's up next as we get into our final 30 minutes here on this Saturday. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. 4's Company with you for one final half hour as we lead you right into pregame coverage of the Nashville Cats and the Albany Firebirds in the AF1 Crown Championship, with kickoff coming up at noon. Jake Lyman, Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. 2 segments to go. We'll make our picks in the final segment for the weekend, but it is time for edition number 2 of our new game that we will play every Saturday. Where Are They Now? The winner from the week before gets to host it the next week. And Connor Newt with a thrilling comeback last week, getting the Guangdong Tigers. So he is our host this week. Take it away.
All right, let's play Bamboozled. Did you ever see that episode of Friends where they play Bamboozled?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay. So let's refine everyone with the rules. We have expanded the game. Last week, we only did 3. We have done 5 now. 3 of them are within the states. 2 of them are outside of the state lines. I will ask you what league they play in. We will not do it like last week, where if I get it wrong, Jake just says incorrect. We'll go twice, and then I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like celebrity birthdays.
Gotcha. Okay, I get it.
That'll be 1 point if you get it, 2 points if you can get the correct team. Are we ready, gentlemen?
Quick question. So the first 2, are they playing in major sports leagues, or is it just inside the United States?
The first 3, they are just inside the United States. Could be a major sports league, could be minor leagues, could be a league across the nation.
All
right. Our first Where Are They Now participant, former LSU running back, MVP, permanent team captain, drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Where is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jake Lyman?
I'm going to say he is still technically in the NFL. I'm going to guess he is on the Saints practice squad.
Nick Frazier?
That's where I was going to go. Let's go NFL. I don't know. Let's go the Jets.
Jake Lyman, 3 points right there.
Let's go.
On the money.
New Orleans Saints practice squad. Frazier, you did get a point there for saying the NFL.
I was just going, from LSU.
Yep.
They all like to go home.
Right. Tyrann Mathieu. So there we go.
So
Great
Jake
start.
Lyman is in the lead 3-1. Former Nashville Predator, fan favorite here in 2021, Rocco Grimaldi. Where is Rocco Grimaldi? Let's go Nick Frazier this time.
Rocco's playing in the AHL, I do recall.
Jake Lyman?
You're going to pick a team?
Oh, sorry. Not for the Admirals anymore. It's a team that has the checkerboard. It's like a picnic colored jersey. Oh, I'm going to say somewhere in Wisconsin, but AHL.
Jake Lyman?
I will go AHL too. I'll go the Hershey Bears.
Hershey Bears. Rocco Grimaldi is in the AHL, so you both get a point for that. He is playing for the Cleveland Monsters, Columbus Blue Jackets.
Did not even know that was a team.
Me neither.
Wisconsin was close, though.
Yeah.
You're right there in the Midwest.
Somewhere. I remember the
close.
checkerboard jerseys. They're pretty cool, actually.
So Jake Lyman leads 4-2. You're clawing back in there, Dr. Crane. I'm proud of you.
Claws out.
Let's see if you can get your mortal enemy right. Former Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral, selected by the Carolina Panthers in the 2021 draft. I was actually hoping the Titans would have gotten him in that draft.
Yeah, instead of Malik Willis.
Yes. Where is Matt Corral? Jake Lyman, go ahead.
Do we say North America? Like all of them?
Yeah, that's
okay. Fine. I'm wondering if he's in the NFL still, or is he in the CFL? I'm going to go the Canadian Football League, and he is on the Montreal Alouettes.
I'm going to go UFL Birmingham Stallions.
Look at you, Nick Frazier. 3 points right there.
Dang it.
Matt Corral
Rats.
is a Birmingham Stallion. So look at that.
What's up with Arby's?
What the hell was that? Anyways,
what a finish to that
song. I don't have any beef with Arby's.
Look at that. Nick Frazier's in the lead.
How'd you know that? Are you a big UFL guy?
Nah, I just kind of.
Maybe that one was too easy.
I saw it on Twitter and I was like, you know what?
Dang it.
All right.
I'm down 5-4.
Highlights.
You are down 5-4, but I handpicked this one just for you. Former Detroit Tiger.
Oh.
Former infielder Harold Castro.
Oh, Harold Castro.
Where is Harold Castro? Nick Frazier.
Oh, he's definitely in MLB still.
Keep in mind, we're in the out of state. We're in the
international.
Oh, this is international.
Yeah, the
I
last
should have
two.
prefaced that.
I'm
You're
sorry.
international now.
Okay, then he plays in the KBO, and he plays for the Dynamo something.
The Dynamo something.
Yep.
Okay.
I know it's not a team, but I think they're the Dynamos. I don't know.
Jake Lyman.
I will go. He's in the. Is it the NPB? Is that the Tokyo one?
Yeah.
The Nippon Baseball League.
Mhm.
Is that? And I want to say the Giants is a team over there.
The
I'll go
Tokyo
with
Giants?
The Tokyo Giants. That's my guess.
Harold Castro is in Mexico playing for the LMB.
He's playing against Trevor Bauer.
And he's playing for the Toros de Tijuanas.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, you're close.
It's fun baseball. By
All right,
the way.
I need this.
The
one.
elevation is through the roof.
Right, in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why Trevor Bauer is struggling so much down there.
ERA is higher than the mountains.
So Nick Frazier still leads 5-4. With that, we have our final participant of this game. And I told you last week, you better study up on your Kentucky basketball.
Oh, no.
Where is former All-SEC point guard Ashton Hagans?
Oh.
Who goes first?
Who went first?
I believe it's me.
Jake Lyman. Yeah.
Kentucky. I thought you were going to go China for this one. I still might guess China. I am going to go China. But he's not on the Guangdong Tigers.
He's not on the
I will go the Shanghai Sharks.
Nick Frazier.
I'm going to go European League. Something's just screaming to me. It's like in the Portugal, Spain area. So I'm going to go with a Spanish club in La Liga. I'm going to go Real Madrid or something like that. But he's playing in Europe.
We got a problem here.
Uh-oh.
He is in China.
Oh.
So Jake Lyman ties it up. He plays for the, oh my God.
Give it your best shot.
Xinjiang Flying Tigers.
Oh.
That was pretty good.
Man, so there's a Flying Tigers and Tigers.
The Guangdong
Tigers.
Yeah.
So we are tied. I am going to give you a tiebreaker.
Okay.
We cannot.
On the spot.
There are no ties in American sports. All right. Not former. He's still current. WWE superstar Brock Lesnar played college football and in the NFL. Where did he play? Nick Frazier, go.
NFL was with the Minnesota Vikings. He wore number 69.
Okay, this one's too easy. Never mind.
Okay. You want to do a different
I was
one?
going to say, like, I'm getting,
Yeah.
wrestling is.
Yeah.
You got a little time. You got it.
I'll think of one. Hold on.
I mean, I'm trying to think of. I guess we should have a tiebreaker ready, but I didn't think it was going to be that high scoring.
No, I didn't either.
We were
The
okay
Matt
there.
Corral pick.
Matt
really
Corral,
got
yeah, that
everybody.
really got
Sorry.
me.
Hold on. I've got one in mind.
Still one of the best segments in radio.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing? Don't mind me. Okay,
we'll get it figured out.
let's do a reverse one here.
Okay.
Taco Fall played at UCF, played in the March Madness against Duke.
Yep.
He is over in Senegal right now. Give me the 3 NBA teams that he played for in his tenure.
Oh. You can go first.
I'll go Orlando Magic. Do I have to give all 3 or just as many as I can?
All 3.
Okay. Orlando Magic, Atlanta Hawks, and New Orleans Pelicans.
I know he played for the Celtics.
Okay.
So Boston Celtics would be 1. Where else did Taco play? I will say the Milwaukee Bucks and the Charlotte Hornets.
So we'll say each one was a point.
Magic and Celtics.
Nope. Just the Celtics.
So we went 1 for 6.
Yes. The other 2 teams were the Cleveland Cavs and the Utah Jazz.
Wow.
I was going to go Utah too. I was thinking about it.
So Jake Lyman, by the skin of his teeth,
I escaped.
takes the victory.
How about that?
Yeah, what a battle.
That was a
there.
hell
was
of
good.
a round.
That was fun.
You guys did better than I thought you would, especially on Matt Corral, I'm very impressed.
I will have to come up with. I'll come up with 6 to be safe for next week. So we're only
we
going
need
play
to come
5,
up with a better tiebreaker.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting a tiebreaker today, so we were not prepared.
We have to name off the whole coaching staff of the Guangdong Tigers.
Yeah. Or maybe we could do like a reverse one where it's like, all right, here is his career path. Name the player or something like that. Could be the tiebreaker.
I like
Trevor Ariza played for every single team.
Yeah, we're gonna keep workshopping this, but I do believe that one was better than the first one, and it's gonna keep getting better. What a round of where are they now?
It was a barn burner.
It was 6-5 that is higher than I expected the scores to be, for sure.
You've set a record. Congratulations.
We each did get an exact one, which is
I was thinking, someone's gonna get Clyde Edwards-Helaire because that was kind of easy.
Yeah.
I was not ready for Nick Frazier to roll out Matt Corral.
Yeah, that was impressive.
You know what they say? Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. One final segment on this Saturday before we hand you off to Chase and Big Joe with the Nashville Cats. We'll make some weekend picks when we come back here on 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Final segment on this Saturday. 4's Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Usually we're on till noon, and we will be moving forward. But special occasion today, the Nashville Cats and the Albany Firebirds playing in the AF1 Crown Championship. Pre-game coverage coming up in 15 minutes with Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin. Excited for that one as the Cats look to bring, would it be the first professional championship to Nashville?
I mean, there's one that we're missing. It's the Nashville Venom, but I mean, that was
and the PBR.
Yeah,
right.
PBR.
Stampede brought one home.
Did the Cats win an Arena Bowl back in their heyday?
Way back when, man.
I don't remember.
Are we going to the parade?
I shouldn't know.
Oh, I hope they do have a parade.
Live show from the parade.
I called one of those games. Do I get a ring if they win the championship?
Yeah.
I've been the sideline reporter.
Ask the executive of the year, Greg Pogue.
Yeah, there we go. But that's coming up at 11:30. Pregame coverage with Chase and Big Joe with kickoff at noon. We're going to make some picks here to wrap up the show. But did want to mention, just saw a tweet from Alex Doherty from the Tennessean. Elliot Friedman is reporting that the Islanders did offer the 16th and 17th picks to the Predators for the number 5 pick last night. Preds obviously said no, which that's the right decision. What do you need 4 mid to late round, first round picks for? I'd much rather have the 5th pick. But nothing we didn't know. The Islanders were trying to get up to take James Higgins, the local kid from Long Island. They obviously didn't, and he is off to the Boston Bruins.
I don't know. That might have been a good trade.
You think so?
If you get Matt Barzal in return and you have Tanner Mollendijk waiting in the wing, I think it'd be great. Because we don't know what's going to happen with Roman Josi.
But if it was just 16 and 17 for 5, I don't see the...
There would have to be a player.
Right. I think you need a current player. So, but yeah, that's the latest report from Elliot Friedman. Day 2 of the NHL draft, I believe, is getting started. Is it already underway? Maybe. If not, it's starting soon.
It's soon. Sorry, my mind's on Nashville Cats right now.
Yes.
The suit is texting me, making sure everything is set up and ready to go.
Yeah, we're not underway for round 2.
Yes, they not underway for round 2, but the Preds will pick a couple times in the second round, at least as it stands right now. Let's make some picks. Let's start with the Nashville Cats and the Albany Firebirds facing off for an AF1 Crown Championship. Who takes it home?
I'm going to just be the homer. Give me the Cats.
I mean, come on, man. You only get to pick the Cats in the Arena Bowl every
the
so
Arena
often.
Football 1 Crown Championship.
I'm sorry, Arena Bowl. Arena Football 1 Crown Championship.
There you go.
Claws out, baby.
Claws out. Give me the Cats. Jake Wallman, let's make it a sweep.
Claws out.
Claws out.
Give me the Cats. Let's go.
Although that might be a conflict of interest. Jake Wallman, a referee for this game today.
Yeah.
If he can make it to Albany.
Just don't bet on it.
I think the executive of the year and Jeff Fisher can give me a pass on that one, right?
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Well, hopefully Jake can make it up there in time. Going to have to be a quick flight. Also on our airwaves, coming up after the AF1 championship wraps up between the Cats and Firebirds, your Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Guardians.
Gardos.
Do we think St. Louis can take the first 2 in the series here after Sonny Gray's gem last night?
They got what? Eric Feta on the mound today. Is that right?
It's either Fetty or Michaelis.
Give me the Cardinals. This lineup has been hitting on all cylinders. I mean, Mason Wynn's bat is showing up.
It's Michaelis.
Oh, it's Michaelis?
Mm-hmm.
Michaelis against Slade Ciccone.
Oh, give me the Cardinals. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. Alec Burleson, homer, calling it.
All right.
Give that man a gold glove, by the way.
Right center. Yes. His foul balls he's catching are incredible.
He's been great. I'm going to go Cardinals as well. I think it's going to be a barn burner, though, with 2 2 bat to ball pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Cardinals and give me them 7-5.
I will take the Cardinals too.
Look at this.
Solely because I hate the Guardians.
Homerific.
We're rubbing off on them.
I will I'll say Jose Ramirez hits a bomb for the Guardians, but the Cardinals do win.
Oh, you're guaranteed to give up a bomb. With Miles Michaelis on the mound, come on.
Maybe 2.
Jake Wallman, are we going back-to-back sweeps, or do you have the Guards?
Am I allowed to pick the Cardinals as a Braves fan?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that's a big rivalry.
It's more of a location rivalry of people in Tennessee picking.
Right. I guess in Nashville, you battle between the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Braves.
Yeah. You know what, Wallman? I feel like you've been just hit with your knees, out from under you. Go ahead, pick the Cardinals. It's all right.
Yeah, I'll take the Cardinals, I guess, today.
This is the greatest day in picks history.
We are sweeping back-to-back Cats and Cards.
It's only Kentucky basketball was in season.
Both those games coming up on our airwaves. And then after Cardinals Guardians wraps up, we have NASCAR, the Quaker State 400, coming up later on. Also, don't forget Sounds and Jumbo Shrimp over on 94.9 The Fan starting at 5:20. We won't pick those, though. Time for a wild card. What are we wrapping up the show with?
My wild card, I'm just going to go with the NHL draft. I say the Preds pick Blake Fiddler.
There you go. Bring the hometown kid back to the Music City. I kind of like that.
They are on the clock. Oh, they just picked.
Jacob
Rombach.
Oh, okay. So it did just start.
I guess it just started.
So Nick Frazier with the fastest 0 for 1 in picks history.
Good job.
That
Nick.
is impeccable timing that he got that off just before the Preds proved him wrong. I guess there's still a chance if he's hanging around at 55, which I doubt.
I doubt it.
But wow.
Good to know.
Nick
Fastest
Frazier,
0 for 1.
his undefeated weekend is over in a blink of an eye. I am going to go with the game on our airwaves tomorrow night for Sunday Night Baseball. The Twins at the Tigers. I don't know what the Tigers are going to do today, but I do know that Tarek Skubal's on the mound tomorrow, and the Tigers are going to get a win. I'll go Skubal goes 7 shutout innings. Tigers win on Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow night. That coverage starts at 5 here on the game. Connor Newt, what's your wild card?
I'll go with a fun one over in Houston, Cubs and Astros. Let's sing a song, Frazier, shall we? Hey, Chicago, what do you say?
Cubs are going to lose today.
Yes, they are. Give me the Astros.
It's not bad luck. They just suck. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? Cubs are going to lose today.
Wow.
It's poetic.
It is. Speaking of which, we were talking about baseball movies the other day. Have you expanded and watched Rookie of the Year?
No,
and
I
Little
haven't.
Big League yet.
I haven't had time because I've been here, and when I'm not here, I'm off getting a tan. I'm peeling like crazy right now.
Yeah.
So, can you tell?
I can't.
I'm working
peeling
out.
last week.
I'm working out too. This shirt makes my abs look massive. So
Well, you do need to watch those movies.
I will.
Great 90s baseball movies.
Make sure to get GQ's next month's edition. Connor Newt, page 73.
And then, next year he'll be on the cover. It'll be great. Jake Wallman, wrap us up. What is your wild card?
I'm going to go with Nashville SC hosting DC tonight.
It's away. It's away.
It's away.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
It feels like a home game because they just keep winning.
Well, it was showing up as SC was the home team on my CBS Sports app. So I don't know.
Not CBS.
Scuffling DC team coming in. Give me Nashville to stay hot tonight.
The boys in gold, they've been great. And that's a good pick for the wild card there. Is this game live that we have right now?
It is not.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like
Are you guys watching an old game?
we're watching soccer in here. The U.S. versus Haiti in the CONCACAF.
Yeah, CONCACAF. Yeah.
Gold
Cup.
Nice.
If that's live, that game started at 8 a.m. and it's played in the U.S.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, never
there's
mind.
no way.
That is not live. That doesn't look like 8 a.m. sunlight right there.
It's in a dome, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't use that as my wild card.
Maybe
anyway.
the fastest 0 for 1 or 1-0.
Yeah, that
I
is
mean, we
true.
made some history today.
We did. Literally within 5 seconds of making a pick, Nick Frazier was wrong.
That's how the story of my life, honestly.
Instant gratification. Again, lots coming up on the Game Nashville Sports Network today. But coming up right after us, Nashville Cats, Albany Firebirds. You can listen to that here or on the flagship 93.3 Totally Hits. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin on the call as the Cats look for a championship. And then you got Cardinals Guardians, NASCAR, Sounds. Tomorrow, more baseball. Should be a fun weekend. And then back to our regularly scheduled programming on Monday with the turn of Joe Rexroad to Robbie and Rexroad after his goutcation on Monday. So
We missed him.
we did. So should be a fun weekend. Hope everybody enjoys it. And if you're traveling for the holiday, make sure to travel safe, as I know the holiday week coming up with the 4th of July. Any final thoughts here on this Saturday? Kind of stretching a little bit here as we get ready for Cats and Firebirds.
I'm going to go ahead and get out of here.
Oh, right. Yeah. Jake Wallman's got to catch his flight
Yeah, get there.
up to Albany. I'll be paying attention to this Cats Firebirds game. I'm excited. I'll be listening
I
to
will
it on
be
the way
too.
I
home.
think it's also on TV. It's on Vice.
It's on Vice.
Which we don't have here. So
Yeah,
I
we
can't-
do.
No, we don't.
It's
We
on
do.
Comcast.
Not in the other studio.
I'll
try it,
yeah. I know the streaming was like Evergreen Now was the original one, but
but you can't
this one's on
find it
TV
anywhere.
So make sure to tune in. Cats and Firebirds. Jeff Fisher trying to bring a championship to Nashville.
Can always listen on our airwaves.
They're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen right here. 102.5 The Game. Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin on the call. They always have fun. And who knows? Maybe Connor Newt will make a sideline reporting appearance.
I hope not. I got some things to do here.
Yeah, Connor Newt going to get out of here and get right to preparing for that game. That'll just about do it for us. We're stretching a little bit here as we get set to wrap up the show. Again, we'll be back 9 to noon next week. All of our usual fun and games, including a new episode of Where Are They Now? I will start planning for that immediately. And tune in tomorrow. I'll be on the call for Sounds and Jumbo Shrimp.
It's a fun plan. I did it Wednesday, and I just sat down for like 30 minutes trying to find some deep cuts.
Maybe that's how I'll spend the 4th of July is just, looking for random
Researching.
old players.
Hamburger
to
in
talk
hand.
about.
We'll see you Monday. Rexroad in his frozen self.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite pictures of Rex.
Yeah,
Rexroad.
Robbie was out at Duncan yesterday. So I guess Joe got to miss that
This
one.
is how you
although
know
it
we're
would've
trying
been-
to hit an out time.
I know.
here.
We're trying to hold off so we can start this Cats broadcast on time.
I'm probably about to bail on you.
I wouldn't blame you.
What a fun show, though.
Very fun show. We got Where Are They Now in, talk some college football video game, talk some Preds. And I'm sure we'll have some Preds talk next week. Maybe we'll actually talk some Titans next week, too. I don't think we've talked Titans in a couple of weeks, which is shocking. But we will get back into that. That'll do it for us.
Okay, bye, guys. Love
For
you.
Nick Frazier, Connor Newt, Jake Wallman, I'm Jake Lyman. Finally saying so long. Enjoy the Cats and Firebirds in the AF1 Crown Championship.
See ya.